Oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need.
Celebrating 80 years of trusted news and local connections. This is Newsradio KONP Port Angeles Squim, a Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Senate lawmakers failed to pass a measure aimed at ending the 16-day-long government shutdown. The president ordering funding be made available to pay military members in the FBI, but the majority of federal workers are missing paychecks. The Trump administration also vowing to move ahead with more layoffs. Yesterday, a judge temporarily blocked the firings of federal workers represented by two labor unions during the government shutdown. The judge asking for more information. Here's ABC's Karen Travers.
Tens of thousands of federal workers, hundreds of thousands, are getting paid right now. They were able to shift money around, so military was able to get paid yesterday, but that's just one paycheck. The president said yesterday he also wanted to see FBI get paid, but not clear how they're going to try to figure out how to be able to do that.
After holding a call with Russia's President Vladimir Putin, President Trump announcing that he will travel to Hungary to meet with Putin on efforts to end the war in Ukraine, but no date was given. It comes a day ahead of President Trump's meeting with Ukraine's President Zelensky at the White House to discuss defense weapons. The president also issued a warning for Hamas to stop killing people in Gaza, or the U.S. could, quote, go in and kill Hamas members. That after video appeared to show Hamas carrying out executions in Gaza. Israel also accusing Hamas of failing to return all deceased hostages and closed one crossing limiting aid into Gaza. Here's ABC's Patrick Reevell with more.
Today, Israel is due to open the Rafah crossing in the south to allow people to move, particularly sick people, to get out of Gaza for treatment. But there's no expectation, and they've said they will not allow more aid in through Rafah. So for now, there is still only quite limited aid getting in. And we are hearing from some reports that people in Gaza are still stockpiling food because many of them fear that ultimately this conflict could still resume.
Stocks are down this hour. Investors concerned over the brewing trade tiff war between the U.S. and China. This is ABC.
Sherry, what have you done to your hair?
What do you mean? Does it not look good?
It doesn't look good. It looks freaking amazing. I can't believe how thick and healthy it looks. Oh, I must know your secret.
No secret. It's hair volume from New Nordic.
Hair volume, huh? Well, it certainly lives up to its name. Your hair has never looked so thick. It is gorgeous.
I was so tired of having thin and brittle hair. Ugh, and the shedding. So I figured I'd give hair volume a try. Needless to say, I'm thrilled with the results. Hey, where are you going?
I'm going to pick up some hair volume right now. My reunion's next month, and I want my hair to look as good as yours.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural health products from New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Scandinavia. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or your local CVS. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Help your hair look full, voluminous, and beautiful again at newnordicusa.com or CVS.
The world's largest food company announcing massive layoffs are coming.
Nestle is letting go of 16,000 people globally. The maker of Kit Kat, Häagen-Dazs, Lean Cuisine, Stouffer's, Hot Pockets, Nespresso, Coffee Mate, Fancy Feast, and Friskies says the world is changing and it needs to change faster. Like other food makers, it's dealing with rising commodity costs and the negative impact of tariffs. Shares of Nestle rose on the news. Wayne Cabot, ABC News.
According to a government report, the cost to heat homes with electricity is expected to rise this winter by about 4%. Here's ABC's Rebecca Jarvis.
Now we've seen this big increase in demand from electric cars, from appliances, and then the really significant culprit, AI data centers. They have become a hot button issue. They've seen candidates from both political parties point to this issue, especially in Virginia, which is home to Data Center Alley. And according to a report from Bloomberg, electricity now costs 267% more in a month than it did 5 years ago in areas that are located near significant data center activity.
In New York, a federal judge blocked the Trump administration from rescinding nearly $34 million from New York City's Mass Transit Authority and NYPD designated for counterterrorism. Judge Lewis Kaplan ruled that the withholding of the funds is arbitrary, capricious, and a blatant violation of the law. FEMA pulled funding, officials say, due to the New York City being a sanctuary city. This is ABC News.
This is the Newsradio KONP Noon Report.
Todd Ortloff in the KONP News Center. Here's a look at what's happening on this Thursday, October 16th. More than 1.6 million people participated in this morning's Great Washington Shakeout. That's a new state record for participation. The goal of the shakeout to encourage people, including businesses, schools, and community groups, to review and update emergency preparedness plans, stock supplies, and secure their living or working spaces to prevent damage and injuries. The main drill began promptly at 10:16 this morning with tsunami sirens sounding along the local coastlines and notices going out to everyone who signed up with the official Everbridge alert system. Clallam County Undersheriff Lorraine Shore is working to get the word out to those who are still registered with the old alert system, which was called Code Red, that you'll need to switch to the new system in order to get alerts going forward.
So if you were on the Everbridge emergency alert, you would have gotten a message saying, the Great American Shakeout, 10:16, tsunami sirens are going off. Don't be concerned. And we did give a number to call, and we have our emergency operations staff activated today as a drill, and they're actually checking all the messages from people that are calling in asking about the tsunami sirens.
To sign up, go to clallamcountywa.gov and then click on the Sheriff's Department's link there. There you'll see another link that takes you to the quick registration form that'll get you signed up for the alerts under the new system.
And then you'll get notified either by email or phone or both if you put that in there. And it's really the best thing to do because this is how we're able to connect with everybody if there is truly an emergency in our county.
Ballots for the November 4th general election now arriving in mailboxes across Clallam County. Voters locally weighing in on a couple of countywide measures. One's a charter amendment that would remove coroner duties from the prosecuting attorney and give the hiring authority to the county commissioners. The other, Proposition 1, is a lid lift for the county's property tax levy, increasing the property tax rate from about 76 cents to 95 cents per $1,000 of assessed value. There are also several contested races on the ballot, including in city councils, Port Angeles School Board, and the hospital district and fire districts as well. Ballot drop boxes are open till 8 p.m. election night. Now, if you still need to register or update your voter information, you can do so online or by mail through October 27th and in person until 8 p.m. on Election Day at the county elections office at the courthouse. A Clallam County judge has ordered the city of Port Angeles to take another look at how it defines the term marina, a ruling that could clear the way for a major expansion by one of the city's cornerstone marine employers. Now, the case stems from Platypus Marine's plan to build a new boat manufacturing and repair facility on Marine Drive, which includes a proposal to enclose spray painting operations inside large tents within the new structure. City fire and building officials rejected that method, though, saying it didn't meet national fire and life safety standards designed to protect employees and nearby properties from the risks of flammable paint. Platypus appealed, arguing its operations qualify under the city's definition of a marina or dry dock, which allows for marine-related painting under different safety codes. The city disagreed, saying the code applies specifically to outdoor work areas, not enclosed buildings, and a hearing examiner upheld that interpretation. Well, the company took the matter on an appeal to the Clallam County Superior Court, and in August, Judge Brent Baisden ruled that the city's reading of the code was too narrow and that the term marina should be interpreted more broadly, requiring the city to revisit its permit analysis to align with the court's findings. In a statement to KONP, the city said it respects the decision and is now working collaboratively with Platypus, trying to move the project forward. Officials say all necessary permit documents have been submitted and that staff are expediting the review process. We've reached out to Platypus for their comments. They've not returned our calls. More news after this.
Looking for affordable home ownership on the peninsula? Mountain View Homes has you covered. Enjoy high-quality craftsmanship at 40% less than traditional homes. You heard me, 40% less. We offer full-service land packages from dirt to turnkey, delivering beautiful, efficient manufactured homes on your chosen site. With 3 convenient locations, including Carlsberg, we're here to serve you. Visit mtviewhomes.com today to learn more. Mountain View Homes, where affordability meets quality.
Clallam County, the Backyard Butchers are here. Look for the big white truck at O'Reilly Auto Parts in PA. Stock up and save on bulk meat specials, beef, chicken, and seafood. And register to win $300 in steak, 2 pounds of king crab legs, or 20 ribeyes for $39? Yes! Don't wait. Look for the big white truck right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts in PA. Visit backyardbutchers.com to find all locations and info. Backyardbutchers.com. Cash, credit, debit, EBT accepted.
At the Swains Fall Work and Play Sale, you'll see savings for the whole family. Fall is here, and it's time to put away the summer wardrobe and replenish your warm and cozies. Head upstairs, ladies, and check out CC Beanies for women and kids, all 25% off. Dovetail Women's Workwear is all 20% off, and Terramar Women's and Kids Base Layer is 20% off too. These deals and more during the Swains Fall Work and Play Sale, now through October 21st.
In other news, the long-discussed joint public safety facility shared by Clallam County and the city of Port Angeles taking another step forward. County commissioners this week approved a request for qualifications to hire a project manager and construction administrator, part of a new phase to keep the project on schedule and within budget. Last week, the county also put the facility out to bid for a general contractor. Bids for both positions are due October 29th. Commissioners expected to open and review them on that same day. The city of Sequim, in partnership with Habitat for Humanity, Clallam County, and Olympic Disposal, holding another Rally in the Alley this Saturday. It'll go 9:30 till 11:30 in the morning or until the dumpsters are full. Organizers asking people don't show up early for the event. Now, here's how it works. Dumpsters will be located at Carrie Blake Park near the pickleball courts and at the city shop at 3rd and Hemlock. And volunteers will be at those sites to help City of Sequim residents only discard their unwanted items for free. Now, there are a few restrictions. No tires, no appliances, liquid paint, gas, fuel, or oil will be accepted. Washington is among 23 states suing the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency over the abrupt cancellation of a $7 billion solar energy program aimed at low-income and disadvantaged households. Created under the 2022 Inflation Reduction Act, the Solar for All initiative awarded Washington $156 million in April of 2024. But after President Donald Trump took office, the program was terminated in August. Attorney General Nick Brown is co-leading the lawsuit with his counterparts from Maryland and Arizona. They allege the EPA violated federal law and the Constitution by ending the program without proper process. The state's Department of Commerce had already spent over 5,000 staff hours prepping projects set to launch later this year, aimed at providing solar access for up to 900,000 homes. A separate lawsuit in the U.S. Court of Federal Claims seeks damages, while labor and nonprofit groups have also filed their own legal challenges. This is Newsradio KONP.
Medicare open enrollment is here. For a lot of people, it's still confusing. But don't worry, help is available with a Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit from the Office of the Insurance Commissioner and SHEBA. Find out what's changing and learn your Medicare options with 7 easy steps to get ready for open enrollment. Get your free Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit now at insurance.wa.gov or pick up a copy at your local library or senior center.
When I was a kid, I always looked forward to harvest time every year for fresh apples and delicious cider. This is Dale from Wilder Auto, and I would like to invite you to come harvest a great selection of end-of-year super specials. The time is right for great savings, and with over 100 lenders, hefty rebates and lease incentives, and some of the best brands on the planet, why would you go anywhere else? For best selection, stop by today or 24/7 at wilderauto.com.
You may have seen on the news, gold and silver are at an all-time high. Ever wonder what your old jewelry and coin collections are worth? Come see me at American Rare Coin and Gold in Sequim. We can all use a little extra money, right? Here at American Rare Coin, we love to buy gold and silver and provide you the best prices. American Rare Coin and Gold, 338 West Washington in Sequim, or call 360-968-4943. 360-968-4943.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Daytime highs approaching 56 this afternoon under overcast skies with a chance of rain showers. Northwesterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Cloudy skies tonight, chance of rain showers, lows around 44. Slight chance for showers tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 56. Low 50s Saturday and Sunday. Rain likely Saturday, showers likely Sunday. Take a look at the extended forecast. 53 Monday, 53 Tuesday, and 54 on Wednesday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, 54.
The road to success is the road. Good morning, I'm Jay Reynolds. LA Dodgers have a 2-0 series lead in the NLCS after winning both games on the road in Milwaukee. In the ALCS, all 3 games have been won by the road team. Mariners taking the first 2 in Toronto, but the Blue Jays packed their bats for Game 3 on the road in Seattle last night.
That ball is driven. Addison Barger has entered the chat. Wow, was that hammered. Deep into the seats in right, and another homer and another hit for Toronto. Their 5th long ball of the night.
Carl Ravitch, ESPN Radio, 18 hits for the Blue Jays, 5 of them homers. They steamroll the Mariners in Seattle 13-4. Seattle still leads the series 2-1. Both series continue today. Week 7 of the NFL kicks off tonight. Steelers and Bengals in Cincinnati. The 2 quarterbacks are in the spotlight given their combined ages. 81, 40-year-old Joe Flacco, 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I think it's great for all the old guys, you know. I know that when I watch other sports, maybe it's because I'm the older guy, but I tend to pull for the older guys to win championships.
Speaking of quarterbacks, Miami's Tua Tagovailoa has apologized for his critical comments, which he made after Sunday's loss to the Chargers. Soccer, Washington Spirit 4-0 over Monterrey to win Group B and clinch a berth in the Champions Cup semifinals, but Trinity Rodman was in tears after an injury to her right leg. On the ice, Sabres had dropped their first 3 games of the season, going 0-for-11 on the power play, but that changed. 3 power play goals yesterday in their 8-4 win over the Senators. Chicago also scores 8, beating the Blues 8-3. Utah tops the Flames 3-1. Calgary's 4th straight loss. Detroit 3 straight wins, beating the Panthers 4-1. NBA Kings forward Keegan Murray agrees to a 5-year, $140 million rookie contract extension. Sacramento brings in Russell Westbrook to a 1-year deal.
In local sports, in an Olympic League cross-country meet on Bainbridge Island, the Port Angeles boys placed 3rd out of 7 teams, finishing in the top 20 for the riders. Easton Dempsey in 10th place, Andre Campbell 12th, Jay Lieberman in 14th, and Henry Wendell in 16th. The Port Angeles girls also finished 3rd as a team. Leah Larson took 2nd overall with a time of 20:13.3. Story Schmidt came in 15th, Miriam Cobb 22nd, and Isabella Pickett 26th. In swimming, the Port Angeles girls, who have dominated most of their opponents this season, faced their toughest test yet against defending state champion Bainbridge, which won last year's title by 116 points. Well, the Spartans topped the Rough Riders 126-54. The lone first-place finish for PA came from Lindsay Reed in diving. Among others, Samaya Nelson placed 3rd in the 200 free and 4th in the 100 free. Chloe K. Sanders 3rd in the 100 butterfly and 4th in the 200 individual medley. Lizzie Shaw took 3rd in the 50 freestyle. Maya Francis placed 3rd in the 100 free, and Ellie Karjalainen finished 2nd in the 100 breaststroke. The Rough Riders relay teams performed well, taking 3rd in both the 200 medley and 200 freestyle relays and 2nd in the 400 freestyle relay. In NWAC soccer, the Peninsula Pirates dominated Everett. The Pirate women rolled to a 7-0 win led by Shiori Shintaku with 2 goals. The Pirate men blanked Everett 5-0. Jeremy Oba had 2 goals. Tonight in prep soccer, Port Angeles visits 9th-ranked North Kitsap, while Sequim travels to Olympic. Both matches start at 7 p.m. In volleyball, Port Angeles on the road to North Kitsap. Sequim travels to Olympic. Both those matches begin at 6:30 tonight. Mariners try to bounce back after a terrible loss last night in the ALCS. We take the air at 4:30 this afternoon here on News Radio KONP.
This is Ed from Leeds Farm Supply and Equipment Sales. Our family has trucked hay to feed the hungry animals in Western Washington for 4 generations. In that time, we have built a growing legacy of serving the needs of our customers, and we've never stopped. In 2014, we ventured into the equipment world by becoming a dealer and service provider for Mahindra tractors. Since then, we have partnered with quality brands such as Bad Boy, Aaron's Gravely, LS Tractor, Husqvarna, Snake River Trailers, and now Wacker Neuson Construction Equipment. We have a 3-bay shop where we not only service the brands we sell, but we also work on most major brands including Kubota, John Deere, and New Holland. We carry a wide variety of parts, filters, belts, and fluids. We have a fully stocked hydraulic shop and can build hoses for most machines while you wait. Chainsaw or weed eater need some TLC, we work on small engines too. We even offer welding and fabrication services. We have been earning the Peninsula's trust for over 25 years with your animal's care, and we look forward to earning your trust with your equipment's care too.
Newsradio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Stocks gave up an early gain and are now in sell-off mode after 2 regional banks, Zion and Western Alliance, disclosed problems with loans involving possible fraud. That's pushing investors to the relative safety of gold, which is at a fresh all-time high, closing in on $4,300 an ounce. Nestle announcing plans to slash 16,000 jobs. The maker of Nescafe, Kit Kat bars, and Purina pet products, among others, says the job cuts will happen over the next 2 years. If you heat your home with electricity, get ready to pay more. The average electric bill expected to rise about 4% this winter, according to the federal government. Soaring demand from data centers to power the AI boom is fueling that rise in electricity prices. And are you reluctant to ask your boss for a raise because of the shaky job market? Career experts say there are workers out there getting pay increases and that it's not wrong to ask to be paid what you're worth, even in a tough job market. Alexis Christoforous, Bloomberg Radio.
The Beauty Rest Fall Sale is going on now at Angelus Furniture. From now through October 21st, check out a Beauty Rest World-Class Hybrid with up to $500 off select mattresses and adjustable base sets. Upgrade to a Beauty Rest Black Hybrid and receive up to $700 off. Nobody sells more Beauty Rest locally, so there are no better experts. Get the refreshing sleep you deserve tonight on your new Beauty Rest, only at Angelus Furniture, 1114 East 1st Street.
Growing your family is an exciting journey, and the labor and delivery team at Olympic Medical Center is here to walk it with you. Our team tailors your birthing experience with you, offering the choice and security you're looking for from the comfort of OMC's Birth Center. Learn more about OMC's team of obstetricians, nurse midwives, RNs, lactation consultants, and more at olympicmedical.org/Stork Squad.
News Radio KONP, traffic and roads.
All right, let's head up to Clallam Transit Dispatch Center now, and that's where Jarrett's standing by with Eye on the Roads for us during this noon hour. Good afternoon, Jarrett.
Good afternoon. Definitely looks like traffic is starting to pick up a little bit this afternoon. We got some pretty slow traffic along Front and First. Also some pretty heavy traffic going all the way up Lincoln, all the way to the truck route where there's construction going on. That will be alternating traffic, so expect some slowdowns there. Also some slow traffic moving all the way between Golf Course Road and Colonel's Way. Looks like there is a little bit of slowdowns along shore, eastbound side of 101, and also some slowdowns near Carlsberg. Downtown Sequim, we got pretty heavy traffic going on Washington Avenue. Expect some slowdowns there between 7th all the way to Sequim Ave. Taking a look at our Hood Canal Bridge, it is currently open to traffic. And for ferry information, please go to WSDOT for live information. This is Jarrett for KONP and Clallam Transit.
Thank you, Jarrett. Your weather forecast is calling for sunshine at times today, although we are clouding up a little bit more than we had expected. That's what's coming tonight, clouds and a chance of showers. Tomorrow, back to some sunshine after some showers in the morning. Next couple of days, highs mid-50s to low 60s. Lows overnight going to be in the 40s tonight. Right now, across the North Olympic Peninsula, Port Townsend actually clear skies and 50 degrees down at the east end. Out west at Forks, it's cloudy, 55, mostly cloudy and 52 in Sequim, and mostly cloudy and 54 now here in Port Angeles.
From ABC News Tech Trends, Apple is refreshing one of its most popular laptops.
So this is an update to the cheapest, the base model, 14-inch MacBook Pro.
9 to 5 Mac's Chance Miller says it gets Apple's latest silicon processor, which they call the M5.
It really boils down to what Apple decided to focus on this year, which was a modest improvement in CPU performance and a bit bigger performance in graphics.
Apple says it's all meant to help run the energy-intensive AI products they've been touting. But Miller says more people will likely notice the improved battery life.
Apple says you'll get up to 24 hours of battery life with the 14-inch MacBook Pro now, which is just an insane stat when you think about the old days of MacBook battery life where maybe you're getting 4 or 5 hours.
Pricing stays the same at just under $1,600 to start, but if you're looking for a larger screen, you're out of luck.
It's interesting. They've only updated the 14-inch MacBook Pro. There is no new 16-inch model yet.
With Tech Trends, I'm Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
Well, we're still over a month away from Thanksgiving, but not too early to be thinking about a Christmas holiday tradition in New York City. Reporter Julie Walker reports the Radio City Rockettes have opened up practices for this year's extra special holiday spectacular.
It's Christmas time again. The Radio City Rockettes ready to welcome the holiday season in New York City. This is the dance company's milestone centennial year, and they were showing off their unbelievably high kicks at rehearsals ahead of the big opening.
This year at the 2025 Christmas Spectacular, we're celebrating the 100th year anniversary of the Rockettes. So when guests come into the music hall, they'll be able to interact with different activations and exhibits that'll showcase archival material of the past 100 years of the Rockettes.
Rockettes performer Megyn Kelly is in her 11th year.
In the show, we have some classic numbers that audiences can expect to see. The Parade of the Wooden Soldiers, for example, which has been in the show since 1933. We also have some new technology. We have Sphere Immersive Sound, which will deliver crystal clear sound to every single audience member, no matter where you're sitting in the theater.
The show opens November 6th. Audio courtesy MSG Entertainment. Julie Walker, New York.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
How can you tell if someone is quote-unquote cool? Not just a good person, not even a favorable person, but cool. An international team of researchers just completed a study about this, where they conducted experiments with thousands of people across 12 countries, including the United States, and found the most surprising thing was seeing that the same attributes emerge in every country. Cool people are perceived to be more extroverted, hedonistic, powerful, adventurous, open, and autonomous. The study's author told us he doesn't think these traits are something that can be taught. We are born with these attributes, he said. 5 of them are personality traits, and personality traits tend to be fairly stable. Some of these 6 attributes are controversial. But you know what? I'd rather be good, more so than cool, any day of the week. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, save up to $600 plus get a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Hello, I'm Jerry Stewart, and this is One Moment in America. As you seek to find your own success story in our America, what is your single most powerful tool? I'll give you the answer after this important message.
Hello, Jerry Stewart here. Question: what are you, an American or an Americant? You might be saying, what's the difference? Glad you asked. An American is someone who sees a problem in our nation, and rather than running from the problem, you stay. And you say, I can fix the problem. And you do, helping to make our great America even greater. and an American't? Pretty simple, pretty sad. You say, there's a problem. You don't have a solution. You don't even try to make a solution. And that is being an American't. And we don't need any more Americans, but more Americans. Do yourself a big favor. Go to our website at www.jerrystewartusa.com and join our American Club by subscribing. And when you do, we'll send you an official American certificate to hang up and show to all that you're an American. So go to www.jerrystewartusa.com and join now. See you there.
As I seek to find my own success story in our America, I spend time studying the words and thoughts and ideals of successful people in our history. One such successful American was Thomas Jefferson. He was a man who set goals and achieved them. But how did he do it? Regarding success, Jefferson said this: "Nothing can stop the man with the right mental attitude from achieving his goal. And nothing on earth can help the man with the wrong mental attitude." Want to get on the right track to success? Start with your thoughts. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. I'm Jerry Stewart, and that was One Moment in America.
Clallam County, the Backyard Butchers are here. Look for the big white truck at O'Reilly Auto Parts in PA. Stock up and save on bulk meat specials, beef, chicken, and seafood. And register to win $300 in steak, 2 pounds of king crab legs, or 20 ribeyes for $39? Yes! Don't wait. Look for the big white truck right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts in PA. Visit backyardbutchers.com to find all locations and info. Backyardbutchers.com. Cash, credit, debit, EBT, accepted.
Bathfitter is celebrating 42,000 installations in Western Washington by offering you monthly payments as low as $125 a month. Hooray! Custom fit tub and shower solutions are installed in as little as 1 day, and every installation is backed by a lifetime warranty. Choose Bathfitter Northwest because they work here, they live here, and they love making bathrooms better for their neighbors. Visit bathfitternw.com to schedule a free consultation. This offer won't last long.
Coastal Farm and Ranch, just what the country needs.
Black Friday starts right now at your local Coastal and at coastalcountry.com. Today you can save hundreds on your holiday list in every department of our incredible stores, like the West's best collection of denim, jeans, and workwear from the names you know and trust, like Ariat. During our Black Friday Now event, get a Coastal $50 gift card for every $150 you purchase in Ariat apparel. Whether you've got a barn, garage, or home gym, Coastal has your floors covered with a Red Barn Max 3/4-inch stall mat for only $47.99. Has someone in your list been dreaming of a safe? Right now at Coastal, you can save $200 off a USA-built Kodiak fire safe that holds up to 57 long guns.
Coastal Farm and Ranch, just what the country needs.
Now through October 24th at your local Coastal.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. The barbs are flying back and forth over the government shutdown and who's to blame. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer chides Republicans for not negotiating his party's demand for $1.5 trillion in new spending on extending Affordable Care Act subsidies.
The ACA crisis is looming over everyone's head, and yet Republicans seem ready to let people's premiums spike by tens of thousands. That's who the hostages are.
House Speaker Mike Johnson disagrees.
Chuck Schumer and Democrats over the last 10 days, here's a small sample of their activity, okay? We've seen performative stunts and TikToks and photo shoots across every inch of this Capitol. We've seen Democrats actually toast themselves on the balcony of the DCCC last night, while their colleagues voted in the Senate to keep the government closed for the 10th time. We've seen not one but two failed publicity stunts right outside my own office.
Federal food assistance could be at risk in November if the government shutdown isn't over by then. More from correspondent Greg Clugston.
Funding for the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, known as SNAP, will continue through October. But if the government isn't reopened by November, food assistance to 40 million low-income people could be at risk. SNAP benefits 1 in 8 people in the U.S. States are scrambling to figure out what to do if the benefits are cut off. Greg Clugston, Washington.
The latest on mortgage rates in the U.S.
Mortgage buyer Freddie Mac says the average rate on a 30-year mortgage fell this week to 6.27%. This brings the average rate back to where it was 4 weeks ago, just above its lowest level for the year. Mortgage rates have mostly eased since late July in the lead up to a rate cut last month by the Federal Reserve. The average rate has remained above 6% since September 2022, the year mortgage rates began climbing from their historic lows. The housing market has been in a sales slump ever since. I'm Alex Vega.
More of these stories at townhall.com.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
A big solution for a big problem in a very big state, as the state of Alaska is now airlifting hundreds of storm survivors from their devastated coastal villages. Here's correspondent Ben Thomas.
It's being called one of the most significant airlifts in Alaska history, evacuating hundreds of people from coastal villages that were inundated by remnants of Typhoon Halong. A record storm surge swept away homes, some with people still inside, leaving 1,500 residents in makeshift shelters.
The recovery is just complicated because these are remote communities, because there is no road connections, and many of the airstrips, are not big enough.
Rick Tolman at the University of Alaska, Fairbanks.
Even in the best of circumstances, this would be a logistical nightmare.
I'm Ben Thomas.
A Ukrainian government delegation. More from townhall.com. The Ukrainian government delegation meeting with prominent American weapons makers during a U.S. visit.
A senior Ukrainian official says that the delegation met with Lockheed Martin and Raytheon. Ukraine is seeking cruise missiles, air defense systems, and joint drone production agreements from the United States.
Instagram taking new steps to safeguard teens.
Meta says teenagers on Instagram will be restricted to seeing PG-13 content by default and won't be able to change their settings without a parent's permission. This means that teens will see photos and videos on Instagram that is similar to what they would see in a PG-13 movie. The company is also adding an even stricter setting that parents can set up for their children. As it seeks to add safeguards for teens, Meta has already promised it wouldn't show inappropriate content to teens, such as posts about self-harm, eating disorders, or suicide. Keith Peters, Washington.
More of these stories at townhall.com.
This is ABC News.
This is the Newsradio KONP Noon Report.
Todd Ortloff in the KONP News Center. Here's a look at what's happening on this Thursday, October 16th. More than 1.6 million people participated in this morning's Great Washington Shakeout. That's a new state record for participation. The goal of the shakeout to encourage people, including businesses, schools, and community groups, to review and update emergency preparedness plans, stock supplies, and secure their living or working spaces to prevent damage and injuries. The main drill began promptly at 10:16 this morning with tsunami sirens sounding along the local coastlines and notices going out to everyone who signed up with the official Everbridge alert system. Clallam County Undersheriff Lorraine Shore is working to get the word out to those who are still registered with the old alert system, which was called Code Red, that you'll need to switch to the new system in order to get alerts going forward.
So if you were on the Everbridge emergency alert, you would have gotten a message saying, the Great American Shakeout, 10:16, tsunami sirens are going off. Don't be concerned, and we did give a number to call, and we have our emergency operations staff activated today as a drill And they're actually checking all the messages from people that are calling in asking about the tsunami sirens.
To sign up, go to ClallamCountyWA.gov and then click on the Sheriff's Department's link there. There you'll see another link that takes you to the quick registration form that'll get you signed up for the alerts under the news system.
And then you'll get notified either by email or phone or both if you put that in there. And it's really the best thing to do because this is how we're able to connect with everybody if there is truly an emergency in our county.
Ballots for the November 4th general election now arriving in mailboxes across Clallam County. Voters locally weighing in on a couple of countywide measures. One's a charter amendment that would remove coroner duties from the prosecuting attorney and give the hiring authority to the county commissioners. The other, Proposition 1, is a lid lift for the county's property tax levy, increasing the property tax rate from about 76 cents to 95 cents per $1,000 of assessed value. There are also several contested races on the ballot, including in city councils, Port Angeles School Board, and the hospital district and fire districts as well. Ballot drop boxes are open till 8 p.m. election night. Now, if you still need to register or update your voter information, you can do so online or by mail through October 27th and in person until 8 p.m. on Election Day at the County Elections Office at the courthouse. A Clallam County judge has ordered the city of Port Angeles to take another look at how it defines the term marina, a ruling that could clear the way for a major expansion by one of the city's cornerstone marine employers. Now, the case stems from Platypus Marine's plan to build a new boat manufacturing and repair facility on Marine Drive, which includes a proposal to enclose spray painting operations inside large tents within the new structure. City fire and building officials rejected that method, though, saying it didn't meet national fire and life safety standards designed to protect employees and nearby properties from the risks of flammable paint. Platypus appealed, arguing its operations qualify under the city's definition of a marina or dry dock, which allows for marine-related painting under different safety codes. The city disagreed, saying the code applies specifically to outdoor work areas, not enclosed buildings, and a hearing examiner upheld that interpretation. Well, the company took the matter on an appeal to the Clallam County Superior Court, and in August, Judge Brent Baisden ruled that the city's reading of the code was too narrow and that the term marina should be interpreted more broadly, requiring the city to revisit its permit analysis to align with the court's findings. In a statement to KONP, the city said it respects the decision and is now working collaboratively with Platypus, trying to move the project forward. Officials say all necessary permit documents have been submitted and that staff are expediting the review process. We've reached out to Platypus for their comments. They've not returned our calls. More news after this. This afternoon on the Todd Ortloff Show, learn how to prepare for the next big Cascadia earthquake with Dan May and Mac McDonald, plus some local history and our Business Bits segment.
Join us at 1 o'clock Monday through Thursday for the Todd Ortloff Show on KONP. Information to keep you engaged in your community with the people and organizations who keep it running. Sponsored by Dan Shappy, Farmers Insurance.
What's better than soaking every night in a saltwater hot spring spa? Knowing you got it for an incredible price during Olympic Hot Tub's great rebate event. Save up to $4,500 on the best hot tub you can own. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Hi, this is John Holm, president of Tri-State Roofing, your local and family-owned company covering the entire Olympic Peninsula area. The difference with Tri-State Roofing is we separate ourselves with the quality of products we offer, customer service, including an A+ rating with the BBB, solid safety plans, and the best labor guarantees around. Call 360-208-2222.
Tri-State Roofing, we got you covered.
In other news, the long-discussed joint public safety facility shared by Clallam County and the city of Port Angeles taking another step forward. County commissioners this week approved a request for qualifications to hire a project manager and construction administrator, part of a new phase to keep the project on schedule and within budget. Last week, the county also put the facility out to bid for a general contractor. Bids for both positions are due October 29th. Commissioners expected to open and review them on that same day. The city of Sequim, in partnership with Habitat for Humanity, Clallam County, and Olympic Disposal, holding another Rally in the Alley this Saturday. It'll go 9:30 till 11:30 in the morning or until the dumpsters are full. Organizers asking people don't show up early for the event. Now, here's how it works. Dumpsters will be located at Carrie Blake Park near the pickleball courts and at the City Shop at 3rd and Hemlock. And volunteers will be at those sites to help City of Sequim residents only discard their unwanted items for free. Now, there are a few restrictions. No tires, no appliances, liquid paint, gas, fuel, or oil will be accepted. Washington is among 23 states suing the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency over the abrupt cancellation of a $7 billion solar energy program aimed at low-income and disadvantaged households. Created under the 2022 Inflation Reduction Act, the Solar for All initiative awarded Washington $156 million in April of 2024. But after President Donald Trump took office, the program was terminated in August. Attorney General Nick Brown is co-leading the lawsuit with his counterparts from Maryland and Arizona. They allege the EPA violated federal law and the Constitution by ending the program without proper process. The state's Department of Commerce had already spent over 5,000 staff hours prepping projects set to launch later this year, aimed at providing solar access for up to 900,000 homes. A separate lawsuit in the U.S. Court of Federal Claims seeks damages, while labor and nonprofit groups have also filed their own legal challenges. This is News Radio KONP.
End-of-life decisions are hard. Be it pre-planning or sudden loss, you need to have an advocate in your corner, which is why I wholeheartedly recommend Drennan & Ford Funeral Home and Crematory in Port Angeles, the only locally owned funeral home and crematory in Clallam County. Their expertise ensures a smooth process so you can focus on healing and being with your loved ones. Their help through the darkest time in my life will forever stay with me. Call 360-457-1210.
Clallam County, the Backyard Butchers are here. Look for the big white truck at O'Reilly Auto Parts in PA. Stock up and save on bulk meat specials, beef, chicken, and seafood. And register to win $300 in steak, 2 pounds of king crab legs, or 20 ribeyes for $39? Yes! Don't wait. Look for the big white truck right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts in PA. Visit backyardbutchers.com to find all locations and info. Backyardbutchers.com. Cash, credit, debit, EBT accepted.
Medicare open enrollment is here. For a lot of people, it's still confusing. But don't worry, help is available with the Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit from the Office of the Insurance Commissioner and SHIBA. Find out what's changing and learn your Medicare options with 7 easy steps to get ready for open enrollment. Get your free Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit now at insurance.wa.gov or pick up a copy at your local library or senior center.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Daytime highs approaching 56 this afternoon under overcast skies with a chance of rain showers. Northwesterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Cloudy skies tonight, chance of rain showers, lows around 44. Slight chance for showers tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 56. Low 50s Saturday and Sunday. Rain likely Saturday, showers likely Sunday. Take a look at the extended forecast, 53 Monday, 53 Tuesday, and 54 on Wednesday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, 54.
And Mariners try to regroup and get back on the winning side of things in the ALCS this late afternoon. We take the air at 4:30 for the pregame. First pitch about 5:30 here on News Radio KONP. Now with the rest of the sports, here's Robert Workman.
Baseball American League Championship Series Game 3 in Seattle. The Blue Jays overpowered the Mariners 13-4, belting 5 home runs. The light show actually started with a Seattle rocket. Julio Rodriguez launching a 2-run homer in the bottom of the first inning. But Andres Jimenez tied it with a 2-run shot in the third to spark a 5-run rally. That's more runs than Toronto had scored in the first 2 games of the series at home. George Springer sent a blast to center in the fourth, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. led off the fifth with another big fly. After going 0 for 7 to start the series, Guerrero went 4 for 4 last night with a walk and scored 3 runs. Alejandro Kirk tacked on a 3-run dinger in the sixth.
I was looking for something over, and thank God I hit it out. And
this is what we're doing the whole year, and it's a great team.
The M showed a little life in the 8th with back-to-back jacks from Randy Arozarena and Cal Raleigh, but Addison Barger went deep in the 9th to top it off. Toronto's 5 homers tied the AL record for the most in a playoff game, which was done most recently by the Jays 10 days ago in the division series, and the combined 8 taters tied the Major League mark for any postseason game. Game 4 tonight at T-Mobile Park. First up today, NLCS Game 3 this afternoon at Dodger Stadium. The home team up 2-0 on the Brewers. NHL, the Sabres slashed the Senators 8-4, 2 goals each for Ryan McLeod, Jason Zucker, and Jack Quinn. Blackhawks blitzed the Blues, Red Wings ripped the Panthers, and the Mammoths snuffed out the Flames to win their first home opener with their new name. That's Thursday Sports.
Port Angeles is a special place, rich in beauty, history, and heart, and no one knows it better than my daughter, Latricia Suggs.
Hi, this is Latricia Suggs, and I'm running for Port Angeles City Council, Position 1.
She's lived here for over 50 years, graduated from Port Angeles High School, and became the first Native American to serve on City Council.
I believe in a Port Angeles where we take care of each other, where everyone's dignity and voice are respected. Vote Latricia Suggs for Port Angeles City Council.
Paid for by the committee to elect Latricia Suggs.
Clallam County, the Backyard Butchers are here. Look for the big white truck at O'Reilly Auto Parts in PA. Stock up and save on bulk meat specials, beef, chicken, and seafood. And register to win $300 in steak, 2 pounds of king crab legs, or 20 ribeyes for $39? Yes! Don't wait. Look for the big white truck right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts in PA. Visit backyardbutchers.com to find all locations and info. Backyardbutchers.com. Cash, credit, debit, EBT accepted.
The holidays are coming, and nothing says team bonding like watching your boss throw a gutter ball. Host your company party at Laurel Lanes in Port Angeles, where the food's great, the drinks are cold, and nobody has to sit through another awkward Secret Santa exchange. Bring the family, too. Bowling's way more fun than trying to untangle Christmas lights. Lace up those shoes, grab a lane, and roll into the season at Laurel Lanes, where fun is right up your alley. Call 360-457-5858 to reserve your lanes now.
Newsradio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Stocks gave up early gains on concerns about regional banks and their exposure to bad loans. That overshadowed another round of strong tech earnings. All that uncertainty sent traders running to the safety of gold, which hit another record high, closing in on $4,300 an ounce. It was also a record day for silver. Apple is getting ready to finally launch a touchscreen version of its MacBook Pro. It will feature a thinner, lighter frame and its M6 line of chips. No word on price, but the touchscreen MacBook Pro should be released late next year or early 2027. Harvard's fight with the Trump administration led to the university's first operating loss in 5 years. Harvard recorded a $113 million deficit thanks in part to federal research expenses that weren't reimbursed. Mortgage rates lower for a third straight week. The average rate on a 30-year loan, 6.27%. Alexis Christoforous, Bloomberg Radio.
Let's get a last check of the noontime traffic next.
At McCrory Carpet One, they sell more than just carpet. If you walk on it, they carry it. Hardwood, laminate, vinyl, tiles, stone, and more. Plus, experience their award-winning installation service on everything they sell. Because McCrory's sells more flooring than anyone else on the peninsula, and Carpet One stores sell more flooring nationally than anyone, they can say always priced right and always done right. McCrory Carpet One.
No matter what you are trying to keep in or what you're trying to keep out, Leitz Farm Supply and Equipment Sales has fencing to get the job done right. Leitz carries everything from barbed wire and no-climb fencing to field fences and gates with all the equipment you'll need to install. You'll even find fence chargers, electric rope, T-posts, and anything else you might need to get the job done. Leitz Farm Supply and Equipment Sales is your local farm store and so much more. Located at 259110 Highway 101 in Sequim.
Newsradio KONP. Traffic and roads.
All right, let's head up to Clallam Transit Dispatch Center one last time this noon hour. That's where Jarrett's standing by with an eye on the roads for us. Good afternoon, Jarrett.
Good afternoon. Yeah, taking a look at traffic. Definitely getting busier out there along First and Front. It's pretty heavy traffic between downtown, Lincoln Street, all the way out to Monroe. There's some heavy traffic going both ways there. Lincoln Street, it looks like it's pretty backed up between 1st and 8th. Also along 8th Street, between the truck route all the way to to Lincoln is looking pretty busy. We do have the construction continuing on at South Pine and Tumwater truck route. That will be alternating traffic there, so expect a little bit of delays there, and some pretty slow-moving traffic all the way from Golf Course Road all the way to Mount Pleasant right now. Along the 101 between Sequim and Port Angeles, there's some slowdowns near Pearson Road. Also, near Carlsberg. Washington in Sequim is looking pretty slow moving right now. Heading further out east, taking a look at the Hood Canal Bridge, it is currently open to traffic. And for ferry information, please go to WSDOT for live information. This is Jarrett, live for KONP and Clown Transit.
Thank you, Jarrett. Just checked the ferries right now. No problems to report on any of the Seattle or the Port Townsend run, so that's good news. Your weather forecast calling for clouds on the increase the rest of the afternoon into tonight. Maybe a couple of showers rolling in. Highs today, low 60s. Lows tonight in the 40s. A little rain shower activity tomorrow morning, then mostly sunny, and mid-50s to low 60s. All right, now across the North Peninsula down in Port Townsend in the east end, they are checking in with mostly clear skies and 50. Out west at Forks, they're cloudy, 55. Sequim's got mostly cloudy skies, 52. And we've got mostly cloudy and 54 now here in Port Angeles at last check. Americans in the market for a new car may be paying a lot more than they thought, according to new data. Here's ABC's Matt Rivers.
According to a report from Kelley Blue Book, the average price for a new vehicle has cracked the $50,000 mark for the first time ever.
It's shocking.
I think it's obscene.
And that's just what people paid. The average asking price, the MSRP for 2026 models, is even higher, more than $52,000. Talk about sticker shock.
Well, the world record for the largest omelet was set in Portugal in August of 2012. This colossal omelet weighed in at 14,225 pounds. It was cooked using 145,000 eggs, and 150 people were led by Chef Pedro Mendez. The making of the record-breaking dish took 6 hours, and ingredients cooked in a massive pan over 10 meters in diameter. The event part of a local immigrant festival when it all happened.
With 800 million active users, ChatGPT is unquestionably the world's most successful AI. Its owner, Sam Altman, boldly predicted that using chat, doctors will cure cancer. But I suppose Altman's announcement the other day was sadly inevitable. I'm Kim Commando for Simply Safe. Visit simplysafekim.com to save 50% on a new system with a professional monitoring plan. There's no safe like Simply Safe. Now, don't miss what I'm saying. I really do believe that ChatGPT's knowledge base will continue to grow exponentially. Using it, doctors will discover the genetic keys that unlocks cures for diseases that have plagued humans forever. So then, why take this powerful AI breakthrough and allow it to begin supplying what Altman calls erotica to so-called adult users? In the media, erotica always devolves into porn. We have enough porn. Can't we allow ChatGPT to find cancer cures first before it talks dirty to me? Hey, sign up for my free newsletter at getkim.com. There's a new way to keep your home safe. It's called Simply Safe. It's completely different from what you think of when I say home security. You see, typical security systems don't prevent someone from entering your home. They only react when someone is already there. And that's too late. Real security stops a crime before it starts. That's why over 4 million Americans trust Simply Safe to keep their homes and their families safe. The moment someone steps onto your property, AI security cameras identify the threat and alert Simply Safe's professional monitoring agents. And they act immediately, confronting the criminal, and if they need to, trigger sirens and spotlights and dispatch the police. Simply Safe is like having your own personal security guard. And with a 60-day money-back guarantee and no long-term contracts, Simply Safe earns your business by keeping you and your family safe and satisfied every single day. Get 50% off your new Simply Safe system right now by going to simplysafekim.com. That's simplysafekim.com. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
John Tesh, and coming up, I've got the latest prescription for relieving pain. In a moment, I'll explain why calling up a childhood friend or flipping through old photo albums that help you trigger nostalgia will fight your pain. Next, in today's Intelligence for Your Life Minute.
This week at Macy's, it's the best time to save on fall styles at our biggest fall sale. Find the classic brown boots and preppy Mary Jeans that everyone's wearing. luxurious cashmere and wool sweaters. Even better, it's our lowest prices of the season on diamond jewelry, now 50 to 75% off. Over half off. Don't miss your chance to save big on the looks you need now at Macy's Biggest Fall Sale. Tomorrow, savings off select styles. Exclusions apply.
I want to share a new and very effective prescription for relieving pain. It's triggering happy memories with a quick dose of nostalgia, say by calling up a childhood friend or flipping through photos from your happiest vacation. Because according to a new study in the Journal of Neuroscience, experiencing nostalgia has a pain-relieving effect that's strong enough to help most people overcome a headache. In fact, when researchers observed people scrolling through photos while also being exposed to a hot probe, they found that participants viewing happy nostalgic photos reported the least amount of pain, because the same part of the brain that processes pain also helps our brain encode the positive emotions associated with nostalgia. The brain cannot process two conflicting signals at the same time. It's why researchers recommend using nostalgia as a non-pharmaceutical way to treat pain. I'm John Tesh with today's Intelligence for Your Life Minute.
Clallam County, the Backyard Butchers are here. Look for the big white truck at O'Reilly Auto Parts in PA. Stock up and save on bulk meat specials, beef, chicken, and seafood. And register to win $300 in steak, 2 pounds of king crab legs, or 20 ribeyes for $39? Yes! Don't wait. Look for the big white truck right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts in PA. Visit backyardbutchers.com to find all locations and info. Backyardbutchers.com. Cash, credit, debit, EBT, accepted.
Hi, this is Mike from American Rare Coin and Gold in Squim. Do you have a house project needs doing but lacking the funds? Now is a great time to sell gold, silver, or rare coins. Prices are at an all-time high. We love to buy coin collections, gold and silver jewelry and bullion. We even help with entire estates. You could be sitting on a literal gold mine. Come see me, Mike, at American Rare Coin and Gold in Squim. Call 360-968-4943.
Newsradio KONP Port Angeles Squim, serving the Olympic Peninsula now for 80 years.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. President Trump and Russia's President Vladimir Putin held a call today. The White House says it lasted roughly 2 hours long as he tries to get Russia to end the war in Ukraine. It comes ahead of tomorrow's White House meeting between President Trump and Ukraine's President Zelensky. President Trump voicing that he may be willing to sell long-range missiles to help Ukraine defend itself. The president announcing he will travel to Hungary to meet with Putin at a future date. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says it's not certain if the president can get Putin and Zelensky to meet for peace talks.
I don't want to get into that, but as I just said, the president and President Putin discussed meeting together in Budapest, and President Trump will talk about that opportunity with President Zelensky when he's here at the White House tomorrow.
Military training exercises taking place off the coast of Venezuela, that according to a U.S. official. Yesterday, President Trump told reporters he authorized the CEA to engage in an operation against Venezuela and threatened to strike land targets after the U.S. carried out strikes on boats allegedly transporting drugs. ABC's Karen Travers says Democrats and Republicans are now demanding answers.
They're not putting out evidence to back up what they're saying are these boats of narco-terrorists. There have been 5 deadly strikes. The president says it's been narco-terrorists who have been on board. The White House has said the same, but there is pushback right now.
A federal judge in Chicago says she is deeply concerned with federal agents' apparent violations of a temporary restraining order issued last week that imposed restrictions on the use of force and riot control weapons against protesters, along with journalists in Chicago, outside at the Broadview facility. U.S. District Judge Sarah Ellis said she will be expanding the existing temporary restraining order to include a requirement for federal agents equipped with body-worn cameras to have them on, and also ordered the head of Chicago's Icefield office to answer questions in court next week. You're listening to ABC News.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
John Bolton, former national security advisor under the first Trump administration, is expected to face a federal indictment later today. Sources tell ABC News. Prosecutors in Maryland say it's over his alleged mishandling of classified documents. ABC's Alex Mallon has details.
This all stems, according to that search warrant, from an investigation that began after the United States became aware that a foreign entity had hacked Bolton's AOL accounts. Now, that's really important because that would indicate that maybe a foreign entity that did hack that account came upon the exact type of classified information, and that would obviously pose grave potential concerns if he actually did have highly classified information on his AOL accounts.
President Trump is threatening to, quote, go in and kill Hamas members. He says if Hamas continues to kill people in Gaza. ABC's Ian Pannell has details.
There are a number of issues that have emerged. One is disarming Hamas. The militants have been reasserting their control in parts of Gaza that the IDF withdrawn from against other armed groups, sometimes violently. Horrific images emerging in a video verified by ABC News appearing to show Hamas-linked gunmen carrying out a public execution.
For the first time in more than a decade, the number of U.S. states with obesity rates of 35% or more has dropped. According to data collected by the CDC, 19 states have obesity rates of 35% or higher in 2024, down from 23 states.
Hey everyone, it's Betsy Sue from Airport Garden Center. I wanted to let everyone know that our biggest sale of the year has started. Each week throughout the month of October, certain plants in that category will be 40% off. Outdoor glazed pottery and wood trellises will be 20% off all month long. You don't want to miss these savings. Pat and our knowledgeable staff will be here with any questions you have. We can't wait to see you.
Fall brings cooler temperatures, which means less stress on grassy areas. That means now is the perfect time to plant grass seed. We carry a wide variety of seeds specifically meant for our area, as well as organic lawn fertilizers that are kid and pet friendly. Help your lawn transition to its resting phase by mulching your lawn with G&B Soil Building Conditioner. Buy 3 bags and get the 4th bag free until the end of the month. Come visit us for any questions and we'll set you up for success. Remember, come see us at Airport Garden Center on Edgewood Drive.
KONP News brought to you by RE/MAX Evergreen Real Estate. Outstanding agents, outstanding results. 457-6600. Ballots hitting mailboxes across Clallam County for the November 4th general election. Voters deciding a charter amendment on the coroner as well as a levy lid lift for the county's property taxes. Contested races include city council, school boards, and hospital and fire districts. The long-planned joint public safety facility shared by Clallam County and the city of Port Angeles moving to another step. Commissioners approving hiring a project manager and construction administrator to keep the project on schedule and in budget. Bids to be opened October 29th.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by Olympic Game Farm. Chance of rain showers this afternoon, otherwise cloudy skies. High temperatures reach up to 56, northwesterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Cloudy skies expected tonight. Chance for showers, lows around 44. Mainly clear skies tomorrow. Slight chance of rain showers. Daytime highs approaching 56. Highs around 52 Saturday with rain likely. Rain showers likely 53 on Sunday. Looking further out, 53 Monday, 53 Tuesday, and 54 on Wednesday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, it's 55 degrees.
It's the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP. Now, here's Todd.
All right, welcome to the program. A little bit earlier today, you probably heard some tsunami sirens going on. You probably saw some EAS alerts happen. Maybe some things hit your phone that said, hey, it's the Great Shakeout. And we do this every year on the 16th. at 1016 on 1016. And it's a chance for all of us to kind of get reacquainted with the fact we do live in an earthquake country. And are we ready for it? And are we ready for the big one in a Cascadia event in particular? So today, interesting, we're going to talk with a couple of folks that I've known for a while, but it's been too long since I put them both together and got them in here to talk about this. And I think this is a great idea. We welcome, first off, Dan May is here. Dan's a geologist. He's a professor as well up at Peninsula College. He's an expert in things that have to do with the earth moving and that sort of stuff. Dan, it's great to see you. Thanks for coming in again.
Thank you.
Good to see you. And with you is Mac McDonald, who we've talked many times about all sorts of other things.
Yes, we have.
But not in this capacity. But Mac is very involved in CERT and is also a lecturer and talks about some of this stuff and being prepared for these types of events. So, Matt, good to see you.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks.
So let's just jump in. We'll jump in with Dan first, and we'll talk about this Cascadia zone we live in and the earthquake country I referred to, and kind of what we were practicing for earlier today, or hopefully people were.
Great. So the Cascadia subduction zone is a 700-mile fault system from Northern California, Cape Mendocino, all the way up past Vancouver Island. It roughly fractures about every 300 to 500 years, depending on the location, and it's capable of producing magnitude 9 earthquakes, which are the most destructive kind, and it produces tsunamis. So we're here to talk a little bit about that and what you can do now to prepare for that.
Very good. Now let's talk about what a magnitude 9 really means.
Oh my gosh.
Because none of us have really been in one of these.
No.
Yeah.
They're the most powerful earthquakes around the world. I know this may be a bit distressing, but it means virtually nothing that's a human-made structure will survive, from bridges to buildings, infrastructure, electricity, and so on.
And one of the notes, I think, and Mac, you can jump in on this as well, is that, when we talk about the Richter scale there, every, 0 to 1, the solid numbers, not the points.
Right.
The points are... It's all exponential.
Right.
So by the time you get from 0 up to a 9, you've exponentially. It's not just 9 times more. It's thousands of times more powerful.
So the typical California quake along the San Andreas, right around 7. A magnitude 9 would be 100 times more shaking.
Than that.
Yeah.
Than what would be in California than a 7, right?
And even those are destructive.
Yep. Yeah.
They even have... names for these, or they designate sort of a name for them. An 8.0 is known as a destructive earthquake. It'll take your house down. That's what our aftershocks may be looking like at 8. But a 9.0 is known as a catastrophic earthquake. And that's why, of course, we're here to help people prepare, but damn well to survive through one of these things.
Yeah, and the through part of it is as well. I mean, surviving just the actual incident of it is one thing, but then the aftermath of it is going to be a whole other thing as well.
And indeed, if there's a 33% chance, in fact, there's a 33% chance of this happening in the next 50 years, and if you had a 33% chance of winning at the casino, you'd be living at one of them.
And by the way, there's a newly discovered fault west of Lake Crescent called the Sadie Creek Fault. And that's a California-size earthquake, about a 7 or so. If you add that into the mix, it's a 50% chance of having an earthquake, a big one, in the next 50 years.
Describe where that fault runs, by the way.
Okay, it starts right about from Log Cabin Resort and goes up the Sadie Creek Valley. It was only discovered by Western Washington University, I think back in 2017, 2018, something like that.
But significant enough that it's a real deal.
It's a real deal, and because it's so close to us, we could have as much or more destruction from that than the big Cascadia subduction zone.
True, yeah, because you're closer to the population of things.
Cascadia is 150 miles west of here.
But that one gets this other thing called a tsunami going that we'll talk about in just a bit. That
at least Sadie Creek doesn't produce a tsunami.
So, Dan, let's talk about, a lot of folks are in a brick building. They're thinking, well, I'm in a solid building. I should be just fine. You just talked about the fact any man-made structure is probably going to go down in a big...
or be damaged. So the problem is in the Pacific Northwest, we're probably the most unprepared place in the world for earthquakes compared to Japan or some of these other places. Many of our buildings are very old. They're brick and mortar. They're called unreinforced masonry structures. The bricks are basically just sitting on the building by gravity. So in the last Nisqually quake, all these bricks came tumbling down, damaging cars. But we're also going to have shattered glass falling, and I say sometimes gargoyles and those other building ornamentation all going to be coming down into the street. Those buildings are much more susceptible to collapse, too.
All right. So with
modern buildings, like anything after about 2005 or so, they're probably not going to collapse, although magnitude 9s. I'm not sure we've ever experienced a magnitude 9 with modern buildings, so it's still problematic. Exactly. But at least we don't have big, tall buildings here.
True. That is one advantage, but boy, if you're in Seattle, if you're in some place where there's that going on, that's a whole other part of this. So, Mac, let's talk about all of that, because part of what the preparedness is let's get ready for what might happen. Fortunately, we haven't been through one of these, so we don't know really what to expect, but we need to be ready for it. So describe a bit what you're telling people.
Well, we know that today, as a matter of fact, everybody needed to reflect and very, very deeply reflect on what would I do in this situation if this puppy uncorked at this moment, if this little rascal lurking off of our coast really decided to uncork and hit us. What would I do? Where would I go? What do I need to have with me since when I'm able to escape my house or what have you? And you know that duck, cover, and hold is somewhat of a holdover from the Cold War era, when we were taught to get under our desks and cover our heads in the event of a nuclear explosion. And that's comforting, but not entirely practical. Initially, in an earthquake, yes, duck under something, such as a table, and if that table migrates, such as if this were rolling along with you like a basketball on the floor for 5 minutes, don't forget, that's how long this thing is supposed to last, then you migrate with it, underneath it. Or you duck into a narrow hallway where the walls give you a little more chance.
Or like a door frame.
A door frame.
Something solid.
No, a door frame... they're saying that's not as damn
you're not as supportive
much.
There is,
no, indeed, don't go under a doorway.
Because that was something for a long time.
Yeah, for a long time.
Okay.
But they're in a hallway, get in there, and then cover your head and curl up in a ball to protect your squishy parts. If you're in bed, there are two views. One, stay there and cover your head with your pillow, curl up in a ball. The other view is to roll next to the floor, next to the bed, so that you are provided a space between the bed and you, the bed acting as a buffer, you and the floor. And of course, when the shaking stops, you put on your extra shoes that you have under your bed so that you're not stepping on the caved-in glass, and exit the house or the edifice and stay away from tall trees and power poles, if any are still standing. If you're near,
I might add, also, the house might shear some, so having a crowbar or something, because maybe you won't be able to open the door.
Yeah.
So maybe with that extra set of shoes, you might want to have something like a crowbar.
No, absolutely, and I do, and he does too, and that's a smart idea. Now, here's the interesting thing that I just, in fact, have learned in the last 6 months. If you're in a modern reinforced building, the building, as Dan said, should stay sound enough to not have collapsed. If it is made of concrete or brick, such as here in downtown Port Angeles, the best thing to do is to get out of it upon the first indication of an earthquake. Now, you will have about 90 seconds from the first signs of an earthquake. Your dogs are going to be howling. The sirens are going to be going off. You're going to hear a tremendous roar like a freight train. The alerts on phones will go off, and you'll feel small tremors and then some really large ones. So you'll know that things are literally going sideways. What you want to do is prepare right now and gauge how fast you can get out of a brick building. And then, say you're in downtown here or any other downtown that has those buildings, locate yourself on the other side of a car. So that building, as it comes down 8-9 feet out, even if it hits the car, or even if you're on the other side of it.
You get some protection from
and you get some of the protection.
That's good advice.
Yeah. You got about 90 seconds now.
Yeah.
And so you need to start practicing as to, okay. And the other part of it is, well, but maybe some things will be strewn about. It may not be quite as easy as today where I go, I can get out of here in 90 seconds, no problem.
Yeah.
When there's a desk blocking the way and there's something else that slid in the way. Right. So we need to be aware of that.
The tiles
take it a little bit longer than that.
Whatever, yeah.
Power's out. It's dark.
It's dark, yes.
Because this is not necessarily going to happen at noon on a beautiful sunny day.
No.
Could be winter, could be snowing out. Even your escape route will be wholly, completely obscured, perhaps, even though you've planned and indeed plan your escape routes.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to kind of get into our uniqueness here as well, because we have this tsunami thing that's an issue. So in addition to getting out of a place, if you're in a inundation zone, which is a lot of places around here, get to the high ground.
Yep.
How do we find the high ground?
Okay, fortunately, all the
and how high is high, I guess, might be the question.
All the cities now that I've seen have evacuation signs up, tsunami evacuation signs. They have brochures. The main thing, if you're down near sea level, you need to go up as soon as that shaking stops.
And how high is, you want to go as far as you can, but what is relatively a safe distance to get from?
Here in Port Angeles and Sequim, about an hour after the earthquake, the tsunami will hit. It's estimated that the tsunami will be roughly about 30 feet here in the Port Angeles area. So to help you with that, that would be First Street and Lincoln. You need to get up past that, up onto the bluffs around here. Out at the coast, it's estimated that the tsunami, and this is a series of waves, by the way, not just one, 80 to 100 feet. So there's some places out on the coast, Westport, Grays Harbor,
you're
where
not going to find a spot.
No, and you have 20 minutes roughly.
Now there are apps on phones, by the way, and you can get one that says compass and so forth. But the critical thing is, as we prepare and think about preparation, is because the cell phones will be out. During this, you're not going to know what exactly is high ground enough, really. And so right now, you go onto your app and you look, where is high ground? How far up do I need to be? And then when you get up there, what do you need to do? You need to ask yourself, are there power poles around me? Are there trees around me? Is this bluff indeed stable? And should I be further in on hard rock? So all these little factors to think about in terms of survival, just in case.
Let me give you an example about Rialto Beach, because I've been out there and thinking about it. Down where the bathrooms are in that parking area, there's a hill there that's maybe 30, 40 feet high. But that won't be enough. You still have to get up higher than that. Maybe think about climbing a tree at that point or getting as far back. And by the way, most people think, well, I'll just drive out. Chances are the road will be down, bridges will be out, there'll be stuff in the road. You're going to be doing this walking and running.
Wow. Yeah. So be aware of it. Yeah.
Fissures will be a plague everywhere along the peninsula, everywhere, in fact, from I-5 into the coast, all the way down to Mendocino, California, and to the tip of course, I-5 doesn't go through Vancouver Island, but however, Vancouver Island, tip of that is where all this thing will take place. So there'll be so many fissures. You just have to plan on walking on
or
riding
running
electric planes. In case of the beaches, right.
I'm going to get back to a little bit because I want to talk about boating as well, which is kind of interesting. But one other thing we referenced this earlier is liquefaction that might happen. And downtown Port Angeles is very susceptible to that because it's built on all of this fill.
And much of Sequim.
So tell us about that, because that happens almost immediately, right?
Right. And so you're shaking the ground. Anything that isn't bedrock, like up in the hills or mountains, is basically sediment, glacial sediment. It's often saturated with water. And if we've ever worked with cement, you shake that a little bit and the water comes up, the cement sinks down, and it's no longer solid. So we've seen photos from Japan in 2011 and other areas. Buildings start sinking and falling over. Cars sink down into this. You can see the water gushing up. It's not good in these low-lying areas, which is almost every place around the Puget Sound. They were either built on fill that was washed down from the bluffs, or it's all just sediment. This is a huge issue.
Yeah.
And we have maps of all of this.
That was my next question. So be aware of where you're at. I mean, if you're working in a place, it would be helpful to know you're on that type
Downtown
of ground.
Port Angeles is susceptible, not up higher. Squim
the
is.
large place. Now, it's not like quicksand.
No.
Okay, I don't want you to think that, oh, God, we're going to sink, so why should I even try to run? It's just going to bog you down. And that's the critical value in thinking about, well, how fast can I get from point A to point B uphill and through maybe some stuff that's boggy and wet.
Again, not quite as easy as when we practice it today on a nice day outside and it's all solid, right?
Right.
Okay. Let's talk boating, because this is really interesting. I want to talk about what happens if we're out there on a boat, because I'm totally safe if I'm on a boat.
Right.
So well, maybe not. Dan would tell us, both of you chime in on this, because
we've given presentations at yacht clubs around the area. The tsunami travels at about 500 miles an hour, about the speed of a jet plane, out in the ocean. In the strait, it will slow down to about 200 miles an hour. If you're out in the strait in deep water, you won't even notice the tsunami coming through. So if you're already out there, stay out there, because you don't have time to get back and dock. If you're just about to leave the marina, you really need to think about, is it worth it?
Okay.
And probably, and Mac will mention this, you'd probably rather be back at your home taking care of your family and the needs there.
And it is a matter of abandoning your boat. It's if you're close enough to land, come in, beach that thing, and get uphill off. Because you understand. Yes, it's a nice idea that it just floats underneath you. However, there's an entire flotilla of destruction coming back at you on the first tsunami. As it recedes, as it comes back.
It's more than one wave, and so once that wave breaks, it's going to pull everything back out into the water.
So there's there could be 9 different waves that are going out, and it's bringing back a lot of flotilla of bad news. And so you're out there, but what goes bump in the night is something you don't want to wake up to in the morning. Right. And many times, and to think about the idea of abandoning your boat just somewhere, you just have to think about the fact that there's going to be no ports for you to tie up.
The marinas have already been destroyed by the earthquake.
Because those are going to
they're gone. Right. There's turned upside down stuff. So you get your boat the closest to land, beach the boat. Hopefully you have on your thumb drive, which we'll talk about what to have in your escape backpacks, but on your thumb drive you have pictures of your boat and their serial numbers and papers, so that when they do find it somewhere down in Olympia
or wherever
that you're able to indeed identify it and get it back. But we all think, are you kidding me? I'm not going to abandon a $300,000 boat or a $100,000 boat or whatever. But you've got a $1 trillion family that you're so worried about on a hill. Yeah. So get the heck back.
Yeah, priorities.
If you can, if you can get in.
Before we get to this, what we should have in our pack, though, you have one thing in your notes here that I love is the 100 fathoms. Tell us about the depth, because the depth of water has to do with this too. So, and this plays into, I think, what
that's
we're talking about, the inundation of these tsunami waves.
Literally means harbor wave. It doesn't mean tidal wave. So out in the open ocean where it's deep, you're not even going to notice it coming by.
And we've seen this when people, like with the tsunami, what happened in Indonesia, people didn't even have a clue that it just went right under them, right? Yeah.
Here, even out in the strait, you won't notice it. But as that comes to the shoreline, it's going to crest. And that's where we get the height. And so that's where all the destruction is going to be, like on Edis Hook, Dungeness Spit, and then inland. And it's going to bring all these boats that are out there, even some of these big freighters or tankers, right up onto land and leave them there. They've even left boats on top of buildings in Japan, 3- and 4-story buildings. So the whole landscape is going to be transformed. So if you're out in open water or you've just launched, you want to be out there at least 400, 500, 600 feet.
500 feet, 500 to 600 feet.
Basically
you won't even notice it.
100 fathoms, basically.
Yeah.
And then the currents and the whirlpools, which will stretch your navigational abilities beyond anything you really ever knew, because of the amount of the what was I going to say about not just the debris? Oh, the sides of the Saley Sea caving in, not only above ground, but down below. So you've got not only the currents that you were already dealing with, but then you've got these vast amount of cross currents. So there's reasons to, come back.
Yeah. We forget about that. I mean, there's destruction happening under the water as well with this. I mean, the whole earth is shaking, and not just what we see above it.
And imagine the log yard. Once the tsunami comes in, it's going to take all those logs back out. How are you even going to navigate?
And
there's going to be floating rooftops and buildings. And unfortunately, there's going to be dead animals and bodies.
Yeah, dead heads will take on a whole new meaning for boaters.
Absolutely.
But I'm sorry.
So tell us what we should do to get prepared. Right?
Then the key is, though, absolutely get out, know your depth charge for sure, but carry extra supplies from now on in your boat. Make sure you can receive tsunami warnings when you're out on the water, and these will be broadcast on Marine VHF channel 16. Now, for everybody to own a NOAA radio is a really good idea because it's solar powered, wind powered, you can wind it up and then battery powered. But update all of your supplies on that boat for not only caring for yourself, but anything else that starts floating out at you. That's critical that you prepare your boat supplies as well.
Because you might not be able to get back.
Yeah, you need to be able to tend to yourself as well, or at least survive.
You're going to need gallons of water, some food, if you're going to be out there. And are you going to take on survivors that are caught out there?
Good point, yeah. Okay, so we're not on a boat, but we're just in our house. We've already alluded to a few things. Give us a quick checklist of kind of what ought to be in our kit, Mac.
Well, you want a 30-day supply of your own medicines, number one. I'm not going to go into all of the, you can go online.
Yeah, there's a great checklist.
And brochures that you can find with fire department and so forth that give you the knowledge of what to do. But certain things we don't think of. A 30-day supply of your own medicine in your backpack, your kids' medicines, and your pets' medicines. You want to have a thumb drive of copies of your important papers, your birth certificates, insurance, real estate,
and you
ownership
should have this
papers.
Anyway, even if there's a fire.
Yeah,
exactly.
This is good preparation for any sort of a disaster, right?
But the thumb drive should be in your backpack so that you will have it. It's one thing to have it on a thumb drive, but where is that thumb drive? Or get a couple of them going. For your kids, you might add some candy and some games, a pack of cards in there, because it's going to be pretty cold and lonely in many of the nights when you're out in the forest, perhaps, as you're surviving. And me as a good Scotsman, and I even have a flask of Scotch,
I get it.
It's a great point,
And here's another one that I was told by a doctor who was working with Hurricane Katrina. Many people died from relatively small cuts and scrapes because they were wading through polluted waters, and we could be doing that here too.
Infection can set in really easily, and that's what would get you, right? Yeah.
So he said everybody should get a bottle or two of Benadine, which is this nice new, it replaces the old iodine. You can get it anywhere, and that's good to have no matter what. I use it when I get cuts and scrapes in the garden. That should be in that backpack because there's not going to be a lot of medical help for a while.
Right.
In every 60 days, you want to, or 90, refresh the batteries in your flashlights. Yeah. You could turn the flashlight on and say, oh, well, no, the beam's still solid. No, add new flashlights in there, as you would know as an entertainer, as yourself.
They're always dead. I assume that all my batteries are always dead.
Yes.
So swap them out. Also refresh your medicines, things like that that you don't really think of.
Oh, and also in that backpack, some energy bars.
Oh,
some
absolutely.
basic food,
Yeah,
because it's going to be tough for a while, especially if you're in town and trying to get back home. You're going to need some things like that.
All right, we're just about out of time. One other thing I wanted Mac to address, though, in this, I'm going to have you guys come back. Would you guys be up for that? I'd love to do another segment where we can get into this even more detail. But let's talk about CERT just real quick, because I think this is a really important part of being prepared to take care of yourself and your neighborhood, because we're going to be isolated.
Yep.
And
I got to tell you, I find out when the next class is going to be in your CERT area, and let me tell you about these heroes in training that you too can be a part of, you and the audience. I can't stress enough the heroic nature of CERT members. Drilling as they do, meeting every month to hone skills in order to rescue people from their homes, apply first aid and comfort the distressed. They perform triage. They evaluate the seriousness of wounds, of life-threatening disease, issues. They check for respiration and shock and bleeding and broken limbs. And you learn all that by joining CERT, how to treat some of those wounds until the survivor can be gotten to more professional help. We've learned how to use professional, various nozzle sprays from the fire department hoses, how to break into homes, even how to flag in a helicopter. And so if this little rascal lurking off our coast decides to uncork, it will, and you will hear about CERT members, a Churchillian quote, "Never was so much owed by so many to so few." Now, in SQUIM, to join CERT, I'm going to I hope you all have a pen and paper right there. If you don't, go reach for it. In SQUIM, to join CERT, you call a lady named Cindy, and her number is 360-504-2531. That's 504-2531. And at least join what is now called Clallam Ready, which used to be called Map Your Neighborhood. It's no longer called Map Your Neighborhood, so that you can tell rescuers who's home or not, who might be invalided, and who needs help or not, which saves us as rescuers time. They also help you bond your neighborhood. And for you to call Clallam Ready, you contact Eileen or Dolores at 360-670-0439, 670-0439. And in Port Angeles, absolutely, you have a shortage here of CERT members. It's critical, and you have more population than we do in SQUIM. So in Port Angeles, sign-ups are handled through the very capable coordinator of the Clallam County Emergency Management Agency, that's Justine Chorley, and her number is 360-417-2525, 417-2525.
And by the way, Mac, chances are our first responders are not going to be able to get to us because they're going to be busy themselves and the bridges will be down. So CERT may be the only medical help we'll have for a while. The Coast Guard is going to be so busy just trying to evacuate Edis Hook that it's not likely they'll be able to do anything out at sea or do search and rescue. It's not even clear, and this is no fault of their own. There's so many people out there, they're going to just have trouble evacuating the Coast Guard station.
This is what this is intended to be, a bit of a reality check for all of us right now. Yep. And let's hope we don't have to live through it, but let's be ready for it if we can, or as best as we can. Right?
And the hospital will probably be damaged.
Yep.
Both Dan and I came from fairly ugly areas. One is Oklahoma, him, Dan, myself, Nevada. Dry, arid, and we live here because it is so beautiful.
Yep.
It was formed, however, in violence, because that's what geologic violence, which gives us this beautiful, beautiful area. But the bad news is that
it's still got that going on.
It's still violent. So the critical thing is, and so all I'm saying is, we're not leaving. This is a beautiful area. Nobody needs to leave or even think about leaving. Simply.
I chose to live here knowing that, because every place
you're
has
a geologist, for goodness sake. You knew that coming in.
But every place has its hazards. At least there's no earthquake season like there was tornado, hurricane season, wildfire season. And so we had to do these drills there, too, for wildfires and so on. I chose here because it's beautiful. I'm calmer here. It's healthier environment here, and I'm not leaving.
All right.
So
don't from the guy that knows how these rocks roll.
Exactly. Don't be scared. Just be aware. And don't just be aware, be prepared. You know, as you know, there are 3 types of people on this planet. Those who make things happen, those who watch things happen, and those who say, what happened? You want to be amongst the people making things happen versus going, oh my God, what has happened to us?
And it makes you feel more confident that you can weather some of these issues if you have some preparation. I'm still scared like anybody about what might happen, but I feel that I'm at least done as much as I can at the moment.
It's a motivator, right?
Yeah, it's a motivator.
Use that as a motivator. All right. Mac McDonald, great to see you again.
Great
Thanks for coming in. We're going to have you guys back, Dan May, as well. Thanks for coming in.
We'd be happy
we'll
to come.
dive into the rocks a little bit more with both of you guys down the road. And today a good chance to just be aware and kind of reevaluate where you're at when you live in this great place, but also very much earthquake country and tsunami area. This 10/16 is the date that we mark the Great Shakeout every year. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
I understand that as our world becomes more automated, receiving personalized service from a real person is more meaningful than ever. I'm Dan Shappy, and as a farmer's agent, I know a thing or two about how to help you select the insurance you want so you can
protect what matters most.
Call 360-681-0696 to learn more and chat with me, a real person and experienced farmer's agent, today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Hello, this is Katie McCormick with Squim Valley and Harper Ridgeview Funeral Chapels. I'd like to take a moment to tell you about a new, exciting, and environmentally friendly development in the funeral industry. It's called Natural Organic Reduction, or terramation. Perhaps you've heard of it. Terramation is a process in which the body, after death, is returned to the earth in a carbon-neutral, eco-friendly manner. The process takes place in a controlled environment, and all that remains is a natural, odorless, compost-like material. If you would like more information about terramation and advanced planning, call us today at Harper Ridgeview in Port Angeles or Squim Valley Chapel in Squim, and one of our knowledgeable and caring funeral professionals will assist you in answering your questions. Harper Ridgeview and Squim Valley Funeral Chapels, because your loved ones deserve the best.
You may have seen on the news, gold and silver are at an all-time high. Ever wonder what your old jewelry and coin collections are worth? Come see me at American Rare Coin and Gold in Squim. We can all use a little extra money, right? Here at American Rare Coin, we love to buy gold and silver and provide you the best prices. American Rare Coin and Gold, 338 West Washington in Squim, or call 360-968-4943. 360-968-4943.
Come out to Olympic Game Farm. It's the home of the waving bears. Come out to Olympic Game Farm for some tender love and care. Now it's not impolite to stick out your tongue, considering the critters you'll be among. Come out to Olympic Game Farm. It's the home of the waving bears. The llama and the yak know you wanna come back, and the tiger always gets a few stares. Come out to Olympic Game Farm. It's the home of the waving bears.
Welcome to Volunteer Spotlight, sponsored by Brown's Outdoor. This is Alan Barnard, and this Volunteer Spotlight shines on the Marine Corps League, a dedicated group of veterans well known for their heartfelt annual Toys for Tots drive. But they do so much more as well. Their honor guard performs rifle salutes at the monthly bell ringing ceremony at Veterans Park and at veterans funeral services and patriotic ceremonies around the county. Their Amtrak float participates in local parades, and as members of the Clallam County Veterans Association, they support distribution of aid to local veterans and their families. If you are a Marine interested in joining the Marine Corps League, or if you are not a Marine, you could become an associate member by calling Mike at 360-544-2078. That's 360-544-2078. It's said that service is the rent we pay for our space on Earth. That's why we present this Volunteer Spotlight, sponsored by Brown's Outdoor.
Losing a loved one is overwhelming. Your mind and your heart shut down. That's where Drennan and Ford Funeral Home and Crematory comes in. They took the burden off my family's shoulders and guided us through everything we needed to do. No pushy sales tactics or unanswered questions. They just held our hands and took care of everything we asked. That's why I will always recommend Drennan and Ford for end-of-life decisions. They handle the hurt like no one else can. Call 360-457-1210.
Well, welcome back to the program. It's Thursday afternoon. Our last segment is our Business Bit segment, and that's when Kevin Holt, our business guru, comes in to talk about some things. And today we're going to get on to the side hustle a little bit. So, Kevin, thanks for coming in as always.
A pleasure.
And help us make it through the night.
Well, we've not had the best of news lately, and it seems that when we face conditions like this, prices are up, employment is tenuous, the news isn't getting better, and people start thinking about a side hustle to close that income gap, make those groceries more affordable. And so the first thing people ask is, well, gee, what kind of side hustles are out there? How can I pick up some extra money? Well, remember when you could pick up a side job on evenings and weekends, when there were part-time jobs, when local employers had seasonal needs? Well, the state of Washington has put an end to that. State employment regulations have killed many past job opportunities. Olympia thought it would be a good idea to copy failed Euro states like Romania or Italy. We will soon have such strong worker protections that no one will have a job. But there's a silver lining here for side hustlers, and we'll get back to that in a moment. Then there's gig work. We've all heard the siren song of gig work. Flexibility, high pay, independence, being in business for yourself, even though you're actually not in business for yourself. Multiple investigations by the Federal Trade Commission, major universities, and state legislatures paint an entirely different picture. These selling points often mislead workers and hide dreadful contract terms. First, you have false promises. Boston University found that 6 of the 7 major gig work apps paid net rates, in other words, after expenses, that were below minimum wage. Then there's the deceptions unique to gig work. The gig economy brought us the gift of algorithmic wage discrimination. A CBS News investigation found that platforms like Uber and Amazon use artificial intelligence to adjust your pay based on your compliance with arbitrary work rules. Human Rights Watch documented gig apps that use AI to monitor online and offline behavior. It all starts with that app the gig company wants you to load onto your phone. Next thing you know, your face, your email exchanges, your text conversations, browsing histories, keystrokes, driving patterns, and rest times are scanned. Gig companies use this data to manipulate you, monitoring your performance and setting your compensation
And it's
goals.
totally legal because you clicked the little thing that said, I accept all the terms of this.
Just like the folks that
right?
signed up for Disney Plus and said, I'll take any complications with Disney to arbitration.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, absolutely. They dangle this tiny little carrot out at you, and you click yes because you can't wait to jump in your car and start driving or delivering or whatever. And what you don't know is you've just handed yourself over to these companies. Gig workers are hired, compensated, disciplined, and fired by algorithms. These systems are opaque, error-prone, and proven discriminatory. Gig work is a trick played on unenlightened labor. It's not an opportunity. In fact, when Uber filed its initial public offering, the firm boasted that avoiding costs associated with employment is vital to its profit margins. So, not your friend.
Probably the only true gig work is the old, Dave Ramsey talks about go deliver pizzas.
Exactly.
Except just deliver for the pizza place.
Down the street. Yeah. Where you meet the company and you know the owner. That's right. Well, that's an awful lot of bad news. Let's talk about good news. You can actually be your own gig company and you can enrich yourself. Starting your own business means building something you own, that you control, and that you get to grow. How can you do that? Well, of course, by using Coach Kevin's 7 Startup Success Secrets. We speak of these often. Here is the customized side hustle version. So, you all remember secret number 1. I call that your vision of success. If you had the perfect side hustle, what would your life look like? And this is where you really need to stop and think. How much time do you have to give to your side hustle? It's not a side hustle if it's taking all of your spare time and all of your recreation time and all your time away from your kids. You need to put a boundary on that or it's not a side hustle. How much money do you need to earn to make your side hustle worth your while. This is what happens with so many side hustlers who try gig work. At the end of the day, they didn't make any money. And so they stop, and then the gig company goes out and hustles up somebody else. Number 3, how would you fit your side hustle into your other life responsibilities? You do have children. We've talked before about being in business with your spouse and how a bad actor in a spousal relationship can use the business to avoid family obligations and childcare responsibilities and all these other things that builds a mountain of not good feelings. So how do you make this work for you? In other words, don't work for your side hustle, make your side hustle work for you. So thinking these things through before you begin will help you find the side hustle that best matches your needs. Secret number 2, build a personal side hustle network. You knew that one was coming.
I'm surprised that wasn't your first one.
Well, you got to know where your head's at. Yeah, you got to know.
Kevin is all about the network.
I am. And a personal business network can be purpose-built. So your side hustle business network has 3 purposes: to learn about market opportunities, to find customers for those market opportunities, and to get resources for you to serve those market opportunities. And your network can do all of that for you. Secret number 3, use your personal side hustle network to find the pains, needs, or gaps in your community. This is where we revisit that silver lining. I just said that overregulation makes it hard for companies to fill short-term needs. The requirements to bring someone into your payroll now is mind-boggling. And it's so much work and costs so much money. If you just need somebody for a couple of weeks, you're not going to do it. So the hiring process has become so onerous, the regulatory burden is so great, that most small businesses don't even consider hiring part-time, short-time, or seasonal workers in many cases. Some do on seasonal, but most don't now anymore. Small businesses can no longer hire employees to fill those needs, but small businesses can use your side hustle company. If you start a side hustle business, you can offer your services to small and large businesses. You can fill gaps caused by our over-regulated labor environment. And this opens up side hustle opportunities far beyond window washing and lawn mowing. With the new labor market, anyone with work experience in business in general can go to the businesses in town and say, hey, I've got these capabilities. I own this company. We provide these services. What do you need? This is just one insight, by the way. There are many, many, many more pains, more needs, and more gaps waiting to be discovered in your local market. And the harder you search, the more options you will have.
And you're working for yourself.
100%.
You've not had to check anybody's app acknowledgement thing where they spy on you or any of that.
and not only that, but you don't pay anybody a cut.
Yeah, you're getting all of the money that's coming into your business, your hustle.
And you get to pick the customers. They're not just dealt to you like a deck of cards.
Good point.
Yeah. And so you get to also take the tax deductions. And we've talked briefly in the past about people who might have a little bump in their background. When you start your own business and offer these services, you don't have to do a background check or take a lie detector test or give a hair sample or all of that stuff. You're judged on the quality of the services your business provides. So again, when you find those markets, find the best one for you, because if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. This is your testing phase. You revisit your vision of success. You recall the time that you might need for your side hustle. Does this market opportunity work for you in that time window? Take a look at the revenue possibilities. Is that going to be the money you need? Will it fit you? You know what? If it doesn't, go back and do your research. There's an almost infinite level of opportunity in almost every market. Keep looking until you find your match and never settle, because you will regret it. Anybody who settles always regrets it. Secret number 5, use your network to build your team of market partners. Now, in small business startup, your team becomes your employees. But in a side hustle startup, your team becomes your market partners. And I'll give a really kind of shocking example of that. In another county, I had a client who had a window washing business. And we kind of talked about how that was working for him, and it looked like he needed to raise his prices. And he said, that's a good idea, but I'll need to talk to the group. And I said, what group is that? And he said, everybody who washes windows in this town gets together for coffee once a month. We talk about customers, we talk about rates, talk about safety, and we share. And so if I'm going to raise my prices, I need to talk to everybody to see how we fit that in. Is that like illegal collaboration.
I got a lot of red flags going off.
Probably. But guess what? It's also networking.
Yeah,
and
true.
So,
there's nothing to say. I mean, they're all window washers,
That's
but
right.
It's just a
That's
business
right.
network, right?
There's all kinds of networks.
Even if it screams collusion.
That's right. That's right. Well, on the other hand, though, that allows the opportunity to share customer demand, because a popular window washer might have more calls than he or she needs, whatever your business is, window washing or otherwise. Next door, we send people to other salons all the time.
Get somebody
exactly.
in, right?
Yep. So finally, number 6, your network will give you access to business resources like customer leads. We just talked about that, and startup money. Now, money? How's that going to happen? Well, remember the last time we talked about this, I immediately got an email from a group of people saying, we're ready. We want to invest in this community and make our small businesses successful. Give me some names. So it's all out there. If you have a solid vision of success, and if you've identified an opportunity that makes dollars, getting money, believe it or not, will be the easy part. Your network will guide you. And secret number 7, remember, good luck and the ability to recognize and capitalize on that luck. And we need only look to the pandemic. It was a very unlucky time. Unless you were in home and garden sector, home exercise equipment, or online streaming, those people felt very, very lucky. The bad luck they had to look out for, the end of pandemic restrictions.
When we went back to normal.
That's right. That's right. So government overreach in the labor market is bad luck for business, but it could be very good luck for side hustlers.
Okay. Great tips, though, and nothing against. You could probably, side hustle in one of these other gig things if you did it, but you got to be very careful. About it. I know some people who've done it, and they've been very judicious, I guess might be the way to put it.
Well, definitely.
But the other part is it fits a lot with what you were just saying, is they discovered that, okay, I'm going to use this as a true side hustle. It's going to make me this much money. If it's not making me that much, I'm out.
They've got a plan. That's right.
Yeah. It's not just, oh my gosh,
I'm doing everything you say because the money's coming in. Well, now somebody might say, can't I just use AI to come up with a side hustle? No, you can't use it to come up with a side hustle. But next time we'll look at how to use AI to refine your side hustle. What are the best ways for window washing businesses to market their services? Things like that. So we'll have some fun with the robots next time.
I love it. All right, Kevin, it's always great to have you in.
Thank you.
And you can get these tips and more at his website, which is kevinyourbusinesscoach.com. He loves getting your emails. He loves to try to work them into shows down the road. So do touch base with him through that website as well. And we will call that good. We're going to take a break. We'll check in with the news coming up in about 5 minutes.
I understand that as our world becomes more automated, receiving personalized service from a real person is more meaningful than ever. I'm Dan Shappy, and as a farmer's agent, I know a thing or two about how to help you select the insurance you want so you can
protect what matters most.
Call 360-681-0696 to learn more and chat with me, a real person and experienced farmer's agent, today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Latricia brings more than experience. She brings a vision for a healthier, stronger future. Latricia's roots run deep, and her heart is with the community.
One step at a time for the next 7 generations. This is Latricia Suggs. Let's build a future that reflects the best of who we are and who we can become. Vote Latricia Suggs for Port Angeles City Council, Position 1.
Paid for by the committee to elect Latricia Suggs.
Clallam County, the Backyard Butchers are here. Look for the big white truck at O'Reilly Auto Parts in PA. Stock up and save on bulk meat specials, beef, chicken, and seafood. And register to win $300 in steak, 2 pounds of king crab legs, or 20 ribeyes for $39? Yes! Don't wait. Look for the big white truck right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts in PA. Visit backyardbutchers.com to find all locations and info. Backyardbutchers.com. Cash, credit, debit, EBT, accepted.
Hi, this is John Hull. I'm president of Tri-State Roofing, your local and family-owned company covering the entire Olympic Peninsula area. The difference with Tri-State Roofing is we separate ourselves with the quality of products we offer, customer service, including an A+ rating with the BBB, solid safety plans, and the best labor guarantees around. Call 360-208-2222.
Tri-State Roofing, we got you covered.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and that means there's no better time than now to educate yourself on preventing, finding, and treating breast cancer. Visit Olympic Medical Center's online health library to answer questions like, what should I know about mammograms? Does my family history put me at risk for breast cancer? And what questions should I ask my doctor? Find answers to these questions and more at olympicmedical.org/breastcancer.
More acres and more chores mean you have more ground to cover in a day. The all-new Bobcat utility tractors are built for it. With 3 models that feature open operating stations or fully enclosed cabs and up to 73 horsepower, plus a Category 2 3-point hitch for heavy implement work, these job-hungry machines take your capability to the next level. Stop into Brim Tractor in Carlsberg to find out about new Bobcat utility tractors.
I went to Jungle Jane's for some beautiful dish towels. I came home with a lamp and a pillow and a rain chain and maybe a few other things. Because inside that little blue building is a home decor wonderland. Jungle Jane's in Squim has stunning lamps, local artisan pieces, kitchen goodies, and decor that makes your home feel like you. Warning, side effects include redecorating your entire house in Zen like bliss. Find us on the web at junglejanes.online.
Coastal Farm and Ranch, just what the country needs.
Black Friday starts right now at your local Coastal and at coastalcountry.com. Today you can save hundreds on your holiday list in every department of our incredible stores, like the West's best collection of denim, jeans, and workwear from the names you know and trust, like Ariat. During our Black Friday Now event, get a Coastal $50 gift card for every $150 you purchase in Ariat apparel. Whether you've got a barn, garage, or home gym, Coastal has your floors covered with a Red Barn Max 3/4-inch stall mat for only $47.99. Has someone in your list been dreaming of a safe? Right now at Coastal, you can save $200 off a USA-built Kodiak fire safe that holds up to 57 long guns.
Coastal Farm and Ranch, just what the country needs.
Now through October 24th at your local Coastal.
Looking to create unforgettable music memories